Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with CircWorks. It's Friday, it's Fan Art Friday, and we're going to do things a little differently this time. I am going to do a speed video, and I'm going to narrate it. And like I said, yeah, this is the first time doing it, so we'll see how it works out. Maybe I'll continue doing it this way. Give me your comments about that and everything. And what are we doing today? We're going to go back to Star Wars. I'm just in the Star Wars mode because, you know, Force Awakens coming out this year, later this year, and we keep getting new stuff, new pictures of different characters and things, and new information about them. So today we're going to do this. This is Captain Phasma from Force Awakens, and let's go to it. All right, so let's start this thing off by getting a few orders of business out of the way. One thing, so I noticed in the little intro I just did that I said the wrong name of this character, and the character, I think I said Captain Phasma, and it's Captain Phasma. So I had that wrong, but hopefully you'll forgive me. I mean, this is all, you know, new information that's coming out, so we're not as familiar with this character. You'll probably watch back this, if anyone's watching this back 2 years from now after the movie comes out, like, oh, you totally got that wrong. But just keep in mind, this is all like new stuff. We're being feeded all these new characters and stuff, and it's really exciting time for anyone who's a Star Wars fan. But yeah, we'll talk more about this character and kind of what I'm drawing on the screen. Right now I'm just doing some gesture drawings, trying to figure out a pose. Pretty standard pose, but still, you know, you want to, even with these very standard poses, you want to have some life too, so you want to have a certain stance and everything. So always best to, you know, start with gestures, which means, you know, real basic shapes, where and you know, you want to kind of figure out where the position of the character is, kind of where the spine is, and in relation to the head and everything, and just, if you can see now, the head's kind of tilted down a little bit. So even though he's standing there, he does have, I say he, which we'll talk more about, this character is actually a she, but anyway, yeah. So, you know, you do your basic, you know, you're drawing your cylinders and balls and everything like that to kind of create the basic skeleton of the character. But anyway, other things I wanted to bring up before we talk more about like the character and the drawing itself. So last week, if you watched Fan Art Friday, you'll know that I've been playing around with a few different ideas, or a few different ways of doing these, because I've ran into some problems. I was filming a lot of this stuff with my iPhone, and my iPhone would only hold so much memory before it cut out. You know, I was just running into all kinds of problems with that. So then I found these, you know, I was gonna look into buying another camera, and I didn't really want to buy another camera, but you know, I didn't know. I was just having some problems with the iPhone, but I found these little cameras that my sons used to have, and they're no longer using them because now they use the camera on their phone, and they're HD and everything. And so I'm filming, and it seemed to work pretty good. You know, it has a removable SD card. I just got a 32 gig card, which is the highest capacity these little cameras can hold. But that should be fine for almost anything I can imagine doing here, especially like in one take. What I was doing before, I just had like the 4 gig card, and I would have to, once it filled up, I would have to pop it out and then plug it in the computer and back it up and pop it back in. And the other problem I had with these little cameras is the battery life. It's not quite as they don't last quite as long as like the iPhone. So they would eventually run out of batteries. And I've got 2 of these phones, because each one of these cameras, but each one of my sons had one. And so I would switch the cameras back and forth too. And it was kind of a hassle, but I found actually an AC adapter, so I can have this thing plugged in and charging and not wasting the battery, and with a 32 gig card, and film everything pretty much in one shot. I mean, I could take breaks and things like that if I need to. but so it shouldn't be a problem. The other problem I had, and I even talked about this on the last video, which was I think it was the Ocho episode, which is character by a local creator, a friend of mine, Eric Mingle. If you watch that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so through that video, I was talking about how, oh, this I got these cameras that I'm using now. It's going to work so much better, and the quality should be a lot better. And then I get a message, on YouTube. I think it was from Safira, which like, and she was saying how the camera quality, it just wasn't good. And I went back and watched it, and yeah, it was not. And I'm like, oh man, here I am touting all the benefits of having this new camera and how great it's going to be, and the quality was not good. But that was just a setting. It was set to a lower setting, not the high def setting. So I changed the setting on that. So I mean, I'm watching it back while I'm doing this little narration, and it looks pretty good. I think this is going to work out for the foreseeable future. Maybe somewhere down the line, I'll get something, a little, maybe a camera that's, even better quality. But I think these are going to do pretty well for me. So yeah, so hopefully we got all that out of the way, all little trial and error here and there, and get down to doing some cool videos that you can actually, you don't have to like squint and trying to figure out what the heck you're trying to see. Also, the lighting was an issue. I've got couple little like spotlights that I shine, and my hand was casting a shadow, but this time I set both one up on each side, so as you can see, you don't see that much of a shadow cast because there's two light sources coming down. So I think this will work out pretty well. So now we're going on to like the inking stage. We penciled everything out with my non-photo blue pencil, which I still use, even though with today's technology, you don't really need that non-photo blue. You can kind of Photoshop pretty much anything out or whatever. So let's talk about this character. Who am I drawing here? This is, like I said, and make sure I get the name right this time, Captain Phasma, who is one of the new characters. We've seen a lot of bits and pieces like in the teaser trailer and things like that. But we've got a bunch of new photographs that just came out from this article. I think in Vanity Fair is where we learned a little more about that. And the photographer that took these, famous photographer Annie Leibovitz, which interesting story. And I'll kind of segue away. I'll come back. I always do this, but so it's just talking about, because a while back I wasn't really familiar with Annie Leibovitz as a photographer. I'm not like, I don't follow photographers in general, so I it kind of leads into a story on how I met my girlfriend. So um, my friend and I, we were going to play, we play these pub trivia. So we got to like bars and we answer trivia questions and everything. And, we tend to do pretty good. My friend knows a little more about sports. I know nothing about sports. He knows at least football and some other stuff. But I'm pretty good at like the pop culture stuff and the music and all that kind of stuff. So we do all right. But we got this question. It was, who was the famous photographer that took, I don't remember exactly what it was, but some famous picture on Rolling Stone or whatever like that. And like my friend and I, we had like no idea who it was. And then so this cute girl sitting next to it at the bar, she says it's Anne Leibovitz. She kind of whispers it, and we put it down, and it was the right answer, and we're like, oh, that's pretty good. So we kind of had her join our team and everything, and then I got her number, called her back, and then we did a few more. I said, yeah, join our team. You're pretty good. And then, we started dating after that. So kind of an interesting story and a little bit of a segue. But anyway, so these new photos in this Vanity Fair article that came out on Star Wars, we've got some pictures of this new character and some revelations about the character. So Captain Phasma is actually, like I said before, another female character, which is cool because we're finally getting some strong. Well, we don't know much about the character. We assume strong female characters, which was kind of lacking in the original Star Wars. And we had one really strong, really great female character, Princess Leia. But other than that, and maybe, if you want to count Aunt Beru, maybe Mon Mothma. I mean, not a whole lot of female characters in this. But with the new, I guess this is a trilogy that they're working towards. I'm sure they're going to keep going and going, but until it stops making money, which was probably never. They got to get their billions of dollars back, Disney, which I think they're going to do a lot quicker than, when they first came out. I was like, how are they ever going to make that much money back? But I don't think it's going to take them long. But anyway, so yeah, the main character looks like the actual main character in The Force Awakens is going to be a female lead, which is cool. And then you've got some other ones with the girl, I forgot her name, but she was in 12 Years a Slave. I think she's doing some like motion capture stuff. I don't know if she'll be actually on screen. But then this character, Captain Phasma, we don't know much about yet. I don't assume she's a villain because it's kind of a stormtrooper costume, but we don't know. We could be something different. But this metallic, cool looking stormtrooper costume. And she's played by Gwendolyn Christie, and if you're a fan of Game of the Thrones, she plays Brienne, that real big, tall warrior lady. And so I think she's going to be pretty badass in this movie. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean everything I've seen so far coming out of the stuff that Abrams is working on for this new movie, I'm getting like super excited about. And what's weird is that a lot of it. Shit. Wait, sorry. I thought my camera went off. I usually don't try to cuss on these things. I had a problem because I recorded this whole thing before, and it I did this whole narration before, and I thought it went pretty well, and then it did not record, and I'm looking up, and for some reason I thought it stopped recording, but it didn't. So sorry about that. Oh, okay. So bear with me. This is my first time doing one of these voiceover things. But anyway, what I was going to say is a lot of the stuff that I see Abrams doing right now at this new Star Wars, I mean, it's just right in line with what I'm wanting to see. And I mean, before they had talked or when they first announced that they were going to make more Star Wars movies, I kind of had it in, as a creative person, I'm sure you guys are the same. If you're artists or creative people, you kind of have ideas in your mind on how they should do this. And it's weird because a lot of the things that I had in my mind, he's doing some similar things. Like I always thought it'd be cool to have the lead character be a female, a younger girl, like teens or whatever, kind of, because like in the original drafts of Star Wars, if you're not familiar, Luke Skywalker, that character was supposed to be, he wasn't going to be named Luke obviously, but it was supposed to be a female character. So I was thinking that would be cool if they did that. And then just a lot of other things that I've kind of seen, like little bits and pieces that are just lining up with things that I was hoping to see. Like I had this idea, I guess I'll talk about it now because I mean, obviously I'm never going to write Star Wars or whatever. But one of the things that was so awesome about the original Star Wars, A New Hope as it's called now, is that opening scene, because after you get the crawl with the type, that kind of the intro to the story, you get this small ship, which looks in perspective looks pretty big at the time. This I think it's 10 of 5 or whatever the name of that ship is that Princess Leia's on. And then, of course, I mean, you've all seen this if you've seen Star Wars, but after that, you get the Star Destroyer, and it's just massive, and it keeps going and going and going, and even in the prequels after that, we never had any kind of a opening like that, and so I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. Well, I said prequels, but even in the rest of the Star Wars, Empire and Return of the Jedi, they didn't have anything that quite captured that feel. And definitely not in the prequels either. So I was thinking it would be cool if they did kind of, paid homage to that and had this ship, had this Star Destroyer and you're following along, and it's just kind of very similar to the first movie. But then the further in you go, the more you see that it's been damaged and blown apart, and it's just kind of floating in space, and then there would be debris all over the place, and it's just like. And then, again, this is my idea of how it would be cool to start a Star Wars movie. And then you have like a little ship or like person like a space costume, a space suit, come in like through one of the holes in this destroyed Star Destroyer, and like go in through, and she's looking. This would be the character, main character, and she's a scavenger, and she's looking for something. And my idea was that because in the original they've got the plans, they've got to get the plans. So I was thinking something for the Death Star. I was thinking something similar to that, but maybe there's a device that the Empire was working on where it could just render Jedi's, the Force useless for any Jedi or anyone that tried to oppose them. And they may have had something similar to this. I think in the expanding universe, there was something, these creatures that could push the Force back. But I'm thinking just make the Force not an option except for if you're, I guess, Darth Vader, but anyone else, just so they, because the Force is so powerful. I mean, that's what could overthrow you. But if they could, if there's some device that they're working on that would make that not an option, I mean, it would be very valuable, and this person would be going and trying to find that. And who knows? I didn't really get too far beyond that, but I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have that look of this character going in, and then maybe somebody intercepts someone and they're, battling over this technology or whatever it is. But so that's my idea. But then, I'm watching some of the things that come out, and you've got this, the main character, what's her name? Rey, I think. And some people are guessing that this is probably Han Solo and Princess Leia's daughter. But she's like a scavenger, and she's not out in space like I had envisioned it like that, but she's out, in this. I don't think it's Tatooine. I think it's been confirmed that it's a different planet, but this desert planet, and living in the wreckage of these things, and like a scavenger character, which is very similar to kind of what I was thinking. And then you also have in the trailer, the teaser trailer, you have this Star Destroyer that is just smashed into the sand and just destroyed, and it kind of brings back what I was thinking about this Star Destroyer out in space with the debris and everything. So yeah, it's just everything so far I'm seeing about these new Abrams Star Wars movies. I'm just super excited about, and these other characters I'm seeing are no different. I'm really interested to see what this Captain Phasma character is all about. If she's maybe she's more of a rogue, like a Boba Fett type or whatever. Hopefully not just trying to duplicate a Boba Fett. I don't know, because we do need characters like that. Because in the prequels, I mean, I guess there was Boba Fett, and I could go on about that. Maybe I'll do that on another video because, I know they're planning a standalone Boba Fett movie, but a lot of things that make Boba Fett so great was the mystery around him. And when you start fleshing him out and you see his origin, like in the prequels, to me it kind of takes away from that. I like the idea of having Boba Fett as this real mysterious character, and obviously I can see why they're going to do standalone films because he's huge. I mean, it's like one of everyone's favorite Star Wars characters, mine included. But then, like I said, the more you kind of give him his background, I think he loses something. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, and they've done that before, like in the prequels, or not in the prequels. I think they need another thing. They need is like a Han Solo type character, and Han Solo will be in this, but maybe like a younger guy. But not exactly like Han Solo, something a little different. This looks like they've got this X-wing pilot that's played by Oscar Isaacs, I think is the actor's name. He looks like he's kind of going to be that hotshot pilot and everything, which will be cool to have because we didn't have anything remotely like that unless you count Anakin Skywalker as a little kid in the prequels. So, but they have tried to do things like that, but we need like a Han Solo type character, but then he's just way too much. He's like exactly like Han Solo. Like I think in the expanded universe, there was a story that took place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and of course, in that amount of time, Han Solo's frozen in carbonite. So it was a book series or a video games or both or whatever. It was called Shadow of the Empire. And they're like, well, we don't have Han Solo in this because he's frozen. So we need a character like him. So they created this character named Dash Rendar. And he was basically just pretty much a ripoff of Han Solo, just a stand-in for Han Solo. He had the same kind of ship. His ship looked almost like the Millennium Falcon, but it was a little smaller and sleeker and faster, I guess. But Anyway, so hopefully they won't try to make it too much on the nose like that, but I think they'll do a good job. I think, you know, there's so much criticism just about the lack of interesting characters in the prequels. I think they're aware of all this, and also, you know, one of the writers is the writer who wrote Empire Strikes Back. So hopefully I think we're in good hands. Yeah, just like super excited about these new Star Wars movies. I think you know, what else is coming out that I'm you know, looking forward to uh, more recently. I mean, I still haven't seen Age of Ultron. I know I want to. You know, I think I've wait. You know, usually these movies, like people go see them the first week and everything, and I love what Marvel's doing with the, you know, with their cinematic universe and all that. But it's like I can wait a week before I see it. You know, Star Wars, I don't know if I'm gonna have to do that. I think I'm gonna have to be there opening day or opening night, and unless I can get, you know, they have these dine-in theaters out here, and you can like actually reserve a seat, but I think that's gonna be next to impossible. But you know, part of it, I think part of the experience is actually like standing in line and everything. And you know, I remember I went to, I think it was, I don't know if it was the premiere of Empire Strikes Back, but it was definitely that opening weekend. And I was there, you know, I was a little kid. I was standing there with my, in line with my, um, yeah, my official Empire Strikes Back movie magazine. And I mean, it was a little different than it is now. I mean, they didn't have like the people in costumes and stuff so much, but I think in the lobby they did have some like Star Wars like mannequins set up like stormtroopers and stuff, but it was like a super big deal. And this was at this theater that has since closed down. Actually, I think they kind of moved it, but it's not the same as it used to be. It was this just massive theater hall with this big screen and only one screen, but it was just massive. It was called the Cine Capri, and it was like the place to be, you know, the place to, and that's why, you know, it was one of the bigger theaters in the nation. So they would have a lot of big premieres, and I think that Empire Strikes Back was the thing, was one of those things, and just have great memories of that. And also, you know, in the prequel, I don't really remember the opening of Jedi so much, but I know all the prequels. I saw opening nights and stuff. So I don't know. You know, I was kind of thinking, do I really want to stand and camp out and everything for this? And I might have to. I don't know. It's a lot of it is, like I said, is just kind of the experience. So anyway, we're getting a little close to wrapping up this guy here. The inks on him. Got a few, you know, a few more brush strokes to go. Um, anyway, so yeah, it's been fun doing it like this. We'll have to see it. I want to get some of your guys' opinion on if you like kind of the speed painting video. I mean, this isn't sped up too fast. I've got another one coming out that I filmed already. I'd still have to do the narration, but it was of me doing the artwork for the cover of my comic book Young and the Dead, and that one is sped up to like 32 times, so it's like super quick. But I mean, that was like you know, that was over, you know, 4 or 5 hour process to illustrate the cover to that comic. This one is just, you know, took me maybe a little under a couple hours, and I'm speeding it up about, I don't remember, it was 4 or 8 times, but um, anyway, so yeah, getting close to the end on this. So yeah, if you like the way I'm doing this, please let me know. If you want to see me do more like this, if you like it the other way. Of course, I can't please everyone, but I'm going to try to do a mix of different things. There are a lot of people that just don't have the time to sit and watch an hour of me talking and drawing, so we try to compress this down to about a half hour. And like I said, this other one I'm going to do is compressed down to probably about 15 minutes. So we'll do some more of those. We'll get a good mix in. So hopefully make everyone happy if possible. I don't know if that's possible on the internet. Um, but yeah, if you guys like what I'm doing here, please, you know, like the video. If you hit the little like button, more people will see that. If you have any comments, please leave a comment or a suggestion, anything in the comment sections. If you haven't subscribed to these videos, please do so. You know, I mean, if you want to see more of them, that is. I mean, I'm trying to put these out on a regular basis, so just make sure, you know, if you subscribe, then you're more apt to see these as I put them out.
and you know, whatever, tell a friend, do all that kind of stuff. If you really like them, you know, spread the word. I'd appreciate it. And so yeah, I signed my signature, so we're getting pretty close. I'm gonna drop some stars in here. I'm getting my little Sino. It's like a white gel pen that I use. It's called a Sino brand. So we're gonna just fix a little of these, you know, lines up and then drop some stars in there. This is Star Wars after all. Um, so this has been a lot of fun, and hopefully this time when because like I said, I already recorded this once. Hopefully when I hit the stop button, it won't erase it, and I won't have to do this for a third time because I don't think I can handle that. Yeah, because I think I was more happy with my first go around, but I guess I shouldn't even mention that because you're not going to hear it. But thanks for watching, everyone. I'll be back with more videos and another Fan Art Friday. If you have any suggestions of other things you want me to draw, let me know. And that is all.